Hey guys, you're watching Let's Talk About Prepping. I'm Tyler, your host, and in this video, I'm going to share just a small mental exercise that I like to do every once in a while, and which I've been thinking about a little bit more lately due to the fact that yesterday I forgot my pistol at home. Now, if you carry a concealed weapon, you probably know what I'm talking about when I say that that distracted me constantly all day long. Now, I'm not worried about not having my gun with me. It's the fact that when you notice that it's missing, you sort of panic a little bit because far from a knife or a phone or something else that you're used to having in your pocket, a gun is something that you're responsible for the security of to keep it from children and from other people. And so when you notice it's missing, part of you immediately wonders where it's at, and then you remember that it's safe at home. Now, I'm not really worried about not having my gun because I can pretty much bet that somebody within 100 yards of me has one at any given time because I'm in a well armed area and there's really not much crime, anyways. But I do like to keep it because I believe that it's important for anyone capable of carrying to be doing so, not just for the reasons of public safety, but because I think that it's an important part of EDC if you're capable of doing so yet again. Now, I also learned that I think I tell a lot more than I mean to. And by that, I mean that my hand kept going to where my gun usually sits to check it because it clearly was not where it was meant to be when it comes to my normal tactile ability to feel it. And while I'm not really concerned about anyone knowing that I have a gun, I just conceal it for the sake of discretion. I also don't necessarily want to be constantly checking it with my hand and making it obvious for anyone looking that I'm one of the people carrying a gun. So it definitely gave me a little bit of an insight into that. So, anyways, this mental exercise is just one that I like to do to see if I'm taking things for granted. And it sort of got me thinking about that because I do sort of take it for granted that I have my gun with me. But whenever I suddenly didn't, I had to reevaluate things altogether. Now, sometimes I also forget my razor knife, and that really messes with me because I use it throughout my day. If my hand flies to where it is and even acts like it's pulling it off of my pocket before I even realize that it isn't there. So, these kinds of things really make you realize that you're taking something for granted. And a mental exercise that I have often done in the past, and which I think is very valuable for preppers, is to ask yourself if you take something for granted when you're using it throughout your everyday life. When you brush your teeth, when you sit on a chair, when you use a fork, or when you do anything throughout the day, ask yourself if that's something you take for granted and what you would be able to do without it, or if it's something that you need to prepare to always have. And this will really get you thinking about how to truly expand your preps and get them in depth because there are a lot of things that we use but definitely take for granted, and which we may one day really wish we had where we expected it to be. So, anyways, I hope that that was interesting. I hope it gets you guys thinking about how your everyday items can be preps if you realize that instead of taking them for granted, there's something that you can just ensure you have forever. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Everybody, stay safe.